Thank you. I am humbled and honored to join you at Minnesota's 9/11 Day of Remembrance. Despite our shared grief in the aftermath of 9/11, hope, resilience, and unity lifted us up as a nation and a state. 20 years later, these lessons are more important than ever. Today, we remember the compassion we showed to one another, the resolve that Minnesota demonstrated to the world, and how, in the face of unfathomable loss, we rose as one. For younger Americans, 9/11 is no longer an experience lived, but history learned. All ages are here to ensure that a new generation understands the capacity within each of us to stand shoulder to shoulder as we fulfill our collective promise never to forget. 20 years after the attacks of September 11, 2001, we remember the 2,977 individuals killed that day and the military service members killed in the subsequent global war on terrorism. To honor the memory of those we have lost, we extended an invitation to the Minnesota Gold Star family members whose service member was killed in action and our Minnesota 9/11 families to come forward and read the name of their loved one as we toll the Spirit Bell of Minnesota tribute bell in remembrance. We will pause throughout the commemoration 4 times, the exact moments 20 years ago today, to pay tribute to those lost because of the hijackers deliberately crashing Flights 11, 175, and 77 into the World Trade Center buildings and the Pentagon, and when passengers on Flight 93 seized control of the aircraft that crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. This solemn tribute ensures the world never forgets them today and always. We are preserving their legacy to affirm the lessons of compassion and strength that are more important than ever. Names will be read alphabetically by either a family member or another Gold Star family member as the University of Minnesota Reserve Officers Training Corps midshipman rings the Spirit of Minnesota tribute bell in their honor. Our video stream is available on a link at the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs website.
Sergeant Chad Allen. Specialist Joshua Roland Anderson. Lance Corporal Levy Angle. Master Sergeant Brent Angus. Staff Sergeant Travis Williams Akins. Corporal Taylor Braun. Staff Sergeant William Joseph Beardsley. Sergeant First Class William Monroe Bennett. Corporal Jonathan Benson. Army Corporal Travis Robert Bruce. Army Specialist Emilio Gelman Campo. Army Specialist George Walter Colley. Army PFC Eric David Clark.
Army, our son, Specialist Ryan Glenn Clark.
Staff Sergeant David Day. Lance Corporal Roger Deeds. My son, Sergeant Nicholas Michael Dickut.
Specialist Robert Dixon. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Patrick Dorff. Captain Nathanal Doreen. And our son specialist, Daniel Drevnik.
My son, Corporal Caleb Erickson.
First Lieutenant Michael Fastnet. Chief Petty Officer James Fast. Master Sergeant Daniel Fetter. Corporal Tyler Frey. My brother, Marine Sergeant Chad Froker, Semper Fi.
As we continue to honor the Minnesotans who have perished since 9/11, I ask us all to pause and please stand in tribute to Flight 11. Exactly 20 years ago today, at 8:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 al-Qaeda terrorists crashed American Airlines Flight 11, traveling from Boston to Los Angeles into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City, killing all 92 people aboard and ensuring the deaths of more than 1,400 people. We stand in silent tribute to those lost.
This man saw the first plane hit the building.
It didn't look like there was any trouble at all with the plane. He didn't swerve at all. It just landed directly in the building. It was like almost like a gray-black color in nature on the plane. He was like he wanted to fly into the building.
What appears to have been an aircraft crashed into the World Trade Center early today, just about 20 minutes ago, tearing into the skyscraper, sending smoke billowing out some 20 stories. Man, yeah. This is unbelievable. The top 15 to 20 floors look like they're on fire. There is a hole in the size of the World Trade Center. It's massive.
Thank you for honoring those lost as a result of the Flight 11 terrorist attack. You may be seated. We'll continue to honor those Minnesotans who were killed in action since 9/11.
Lieutenant Christopher Schultz Gopke.
Our son, Chief Warrant Officer 3, Corey Goodnature.
Lance Corporal Robert Greniger. Staff Sergeant Joshua Hansen. Sergeant Matthew Harmon. Specialist Anthony Hebert. Staff Sergeant Brian Hellerman. Private First Class Edward Hergott. Captain Kelly Hines. Specialist James Holmes. Sergeant Chester Hosford. Specialist Kenneth Jacobs, Jr. Specialist Matthew Johnson. Sergeant First Class Matthew Kaler. My brother, Corporal Andrew Campbell.
Our son, who lived life full throttle.
Joseph Allen Kennedy.
Specialist Brent Koch. My son, United States Army Ranger Corporal Benjamin Stephen Kopp.
Private First Class Moises Langhorst, my neighbor up north. Specialist Zhang Li. Sergeant Jesse Latka. Corporal Troy Linden. My son, who wanted to serve our country ever since he was a little boy, Chief Warrant Officer 4, Matthew Laurie.
Specialist James London. My cousin, Corporal Connor Masterson.
Chief Warrant Officer Jonah McKellen. Corporal Anthony McElveen. Specialist Sean McDonald. Sergeant Brian McDonough. Specialist Dwayne McFarlane.
As we remember the Minnesotans who have perished since 9/11, I ask us all to pause and please stand in tribute to Flight 175. Exactly 20 years ago today at 9:03 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 al-Qaeda terrorists crashed United Flights 175 traveling from Boston to Los Angeles into the South Tower of the World Trade Center, killing all 65 people aboard and ensuring the deaths of more than 900 people. We stand in silent tribute to those lost.
Well, this morning, just at about 12 minutes before the hour, there was a plane that crashed in the World Trade Center in New York, and shortly thereafter, a second one apparently has crashed into the World Trade Tower as well.
President Bush calling this an apparent terrorist attack on New York City. Both towers of the World Trade Center, 110 stories tall. We have a report from the Associated Press that federal authorities believe both planes were hijacked from Boston.
Thank you for honoring those lost as a result of the Flight 175 terrorist attack. You may be seated. We continue to honor those Minnesotans who were killed in action since 9/11.
My brother and her son, United States Marines, Lance Corporal Dale Means.
Specialist James Miller. Sergeant Kyle Miller. Lance Corporal Scott Modine. Sergeant Jacob Molina. My husband and children's father. Isagitan, I love you. Gitam Kawapamo, we'll see you again. Hi, hi. Sergeant Darby Morin.
Specialist William Mulvihill. Private First Class Andrew Nelson. Staff Sergeant Andrew Nelson. Lance Corporal Daniel Olson. Sergeant Brian Obskar. Sergeant Kyle Osborne.
The pride of our family.
My brother-in-law, Marine Corporal Sean Osterman.
Staff Sergeant Dale Pancho. Sergeant First Class Matthew Pionk. Lance Corporal Robert Posavio. Staff Sergeant Kenneth Pospisil. Staff Sergeant Patrick Quinn.
Sergeant Greg Rewer. Specialist Gregory Rundell. Specialist Corey Rystad. Specialist Justin Schmidt. Sergeant Joshua Schmidt. Sergeant Jason Schumann. Staff Sergeant Todd Selge. Specialist Benjamin Smith. Sergeant First Class Paul Smith. Petty Officer 2, Nicholas Spear. Staff Sergeant Brian Studer.
Corporal Curtis Swinson. Staff Sergeant Aaron Taylor. Staff Sergeant David Textor. Our beloved brother, son, soldier, scientist, Staff Sergeant Adam Thomas.
Staff Sergeant Jacob Thompson. First Lieutenant Jason Timmerman. Chief Warrant Officer, Second Class, Eric Totten. Sergeant First Class, John Tobias. Specialist Jacob Vanderbosch. Sergeant Joseph Vanek. Major Adriana Vorderbruggen.
Sergeant Andrew Wallace. Corporal Robert Warnes. Captain Ian Weichel. And a young man who died beside my brother, Specialist James Wardish. My brother
and my son, Specialist Carlos Doc Wilcox.
Specialist Andrew Charles Wilford. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Philip Eugene Windorski. Staff Sergeant Kevin Whitty. A young man who grew up just down the street from where we're standing, Sergeant James Matthew Wasika. Private First Class Jonathan Yanni.
Warrant Officer Eric William Totten, Afghanistan.
Thank you, Gold Star families, for being here this morning and for providing honor, hope, and healing to those grieving any military loss through active duty service in the United States Armed Forces. You are a source of strength to us all, and we honor all families whose loved ones never returned home. The terrorist attacks on 9/11 resulted in at least 2,977 deaths, and 7 Minnesotans were among those who died. We honor those Minnesotans by inviting the 9/11 family members to come forward and say their name as a loving tribute to their memory as we once again toll the Spirit of Minnesota tribute bell in their honor.
My brother, Gordon McCannell Ameth Jr. Miss you, Gordy.
Max Bielke. Sandra Kanadi Brace. Charles F. Burlingame III. My father, Thomas Edward Burnett, Jr.
Our uncle, who is so loved and so missed, Gary Edward Keckler. Cheryl D. Sincock.
Please stand for a moment of silence in honor of Flight 77.
Right here, right now.
It gets worse. An aircraft has just crashed into the Pentagon, according to witnesses. First, we have the 2 planes that have crashed into the World Trade Center towers here in New York, and now the Pentagon.
That was a big passenger jet.
There's no irony here.
Osai, could be Osama bin Laden. No, I hope to God not.
I think for all of us, did we ever think there'd be another date that would live in infamy? And here we are. I mean,
I know.
You wouldn't think it could happen.